Every year, Iowa has murders and disappearances. Law enforcement closes many of those cases, but not all, and some go unsolved for years. But the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation does work on those cold cases. And tonight, KCRG-TV 9's Ashley Hinson gives you an exclusive look inside the DCI's lab.
Saliva on a cigarette butt from a 60s scene. Palm prints on a car window crime scene taken 30 years ago. Or maybe a shell casing matched to a gun long gone. These are just some of the ways investigators can use evidence to close cold cases. Last night we saw how time can be an enemy to investigators in limiting witnesses and information. But tonight we take you on a journey that has investigators discovering time can truly be their best friend.
Since she was missing back in '79, they took a lot of things out of her apartment.
Piles and piles of evidence, but no one to connect to the crime. That's the problem surrounding dozens of cold cases in Iowa.
There's family members out there that never got any closure because they don't know who's responsible for it.
Looking back at cold cases takes a lot of backtracking for investigators. TV9 spoke with law enforcement from all around eastern Iowa, and many have cold cases dating back to the 1950s or even earlier.
First thing we're going to look at is possibility of DNA. It's wonderful.
And new technology can help develop new leads. Here at the DCI laboratories in Ankeny, they conduct DNA analysis, look at fingerprints, and break down bullets, all to try and solve cases gone cold.
This system is capable of storing approximately 80,000 specimens.
DNA is just one of the ways investigators can tie people to the cases of yesteryear. At the DCI, criminalists are generating profiles from anyone convicted of a felony in Iowa and entering them into the national database, the Combined DNA Index System, or CODIS. It actually takes about 5 hours at the bare minimum to develop a sample to be entered into CODIS using the machine. And DNA is oftentimes invisible to the naked eye. So criminalists processing those mountains of evidence say it can be a time-consuming process.
There's no magical way to pick which stain is going to end up matching the suspect. So a lot of times you have to do all the stains and see if there's any that match a suspect or any that don't match the victim, so you can put it into the database.
These small blue circles with the little tails are the individual characteristics.
The AFIS, or Automated Fingerprint Identification System, can help narrow down a suspect who may have just been entered into the system. But that also goes for identifying victims that died as far back as the 1970s.
And it languished in the file until 2005. As you can see, this prior arrest print and the print of her thumb are identical.
Ammunition that we're going to shoot in a gun is going to consist of a bullet and a cartridge case, all one.
And in the ballistics department, they enter shells and casings from bullets into the NIBIN, the National Integrated Ballistics Information Network.
Be able to take, again, the images from this bullet, from this old homicide case, compare it to every bullet that's been entered into the database since then.
Bullets, fingerprints, and DNA. And the technology that helps process the evidence is giving investigators hope at putting together pieces of sometimes very old puzzles.
Once you get that lead, you actually can start putting a good case together, and you know that, hey, we're going to probably make an arrest here. It's the exciting part of it.
The DCI lab is getting more and more requests for testing of evidence from cold cases. In fact, criminalists say they're finding matches for not only murders and missing persons investigations, but also sexual assaults and robberies that otherwise might never be solved. For more on cold cases that are cold but not forgotten, visit KCRG.com.